I'm Nia.
I'm Nani.
And welcome to Paranormal Pour. Well, we tell some spooky stories while sipping some spirits.
We always mess that up, so I was waiting.
It's okay. It keeps it fun and interesting.
Yes.
It keeps you on your toes so you know what you're watching.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with what I'm drinking today. Super excited. Chairman's Reserve. The Forgotten Cask. So this one is a blend of pot and column still. Mm-hmm. It is extra aged. And the cellar master is Cyril Mangal. This is a 40% ABV, 80 proof rum. I have tried this before, but I haven't tried it in a while, so I wanted to see how it's aging. Mm-hmm. If you're not familiar with St. Lucia distilleries, they do some incredible stuff. They're part of Spirit Bam now, so they're under Clement, Rum JM. Mm-hmm. These guys, Bounty, which
all good stuff,
which we tried at the Miami Rum Congress. Which, man, so good. Like they're very basic flavored rums were amazing. We tried the coconut, we tried the lime.
Mm-hmm. So good. It doesn't taste artificial. It doesn't taste overly like there's a lot of additives and sugar in it.
And I 99% of the times when it says lime flavored anything, I hate it.
Same. I'm not a huge lime. I like lime juice and lime in things, but if it's lime flavored.
No,
I don't like key lime pie. I don't like anything lime flavored.
I do love key lime pie.
I do like Publix's mango key lime pie.
I haven't tried. I've tried the regular key lime pie. And it's
I've
really
tried
good.
the mango one because the mango sweetness kind of breaks through the tartness of the key lime. It's really good.
But these guys do some incredible rums.
Yeah, check them out.
If you're not familiar with them, definitely go check them out because they have some amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. And we were so lucky to meet the master rum distiller / blender because they do a lot of blends.
Yeah.
Demi at the Miami Rum Congress. So it's really good. So definitely go subscribe to my other channel, My Rum Diaries, because I will have an exclusive video of him describing how he picks the blends and how he does the magic and voodoo that he does too. It's very exciting to open this up again. So, what are you drinking today?
I'm drinking.
I know you're a little unfamiliar with this.
I am.
Phil kind of sprung it on you because he's like, you have to try this.
Yes. I said I wanted something a little lighter. So this is called Mineral City, and it looks like it's a blend of Florida and U.S. Virgin Island rums, aged between 1 to 4 years, I guess. 47.2% ABV, bottle number 289, batch.
And this
21.
is from Manifest Distillery, which is up in Jacksonville, Florida. They're brand spanking new. Phil managed to go there while he was visiting his friend, and he absolutely loved it and brought the bottle back. So,
so
you start with your pop to see.
It's like an interesting, you don't usually see the clear
glass.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that. Bear with me, folks. I'm doing this left-handed.
Ooh, that was a good one. Plastic cork.
I like to smell the cork because it's usually a little different.
And then I'll move with my little pop, or big pop, hopefully, because we know we love that sound.
Yes.
Okay, let's see this. Ooh. And this is a real cork.
Big noise for a little cork.
I know, man. We've been trying to catch up to these episodes, so we apologize if we haven't been a little bit too present, but
we've been going through some life changes, both of us, so.
But if you miss us that much, check us out, usually the last Tuesday of the month at Rum News.
Mm-hmm. And then other videos in between, you'll see us in her videos from the Miami Rum Congress, her Australia video catch-up, her Jamaica video catch-up.
And My Rum Diaries channel. But if you love anything with sipping spirits or spooky spirits, definitely subscribe to this channel. Give us a little thumbs up if you like our stories. So I did start last time.
Yes.
Do you want to go first this time?
I will. So this story is a little bit shorter.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. But it's one that haunts me till this day. I'm literally getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So I was about 8. My middle brother was about 6 or 7. We're only a year and a half apart, so it's hard to gauge. I don't recall where my youngest brother was. He was about 3. I don't know where he was at the time. I don't know if he was with my mom, if he was upstairs sleeping. I don't recall. Don't hate me. Don't remember. I just know it was me and my middle brother in the living room, right? So we lived in an apartment in Hyannis, Massachusetts at the time. My dad worked overnights at the hospital. So usually it was just the kids and my mom at home in the evenings.
Yeah.
But she had to run out, and I remember it was winter because it was probably about like 7 or 8 o'clock, and it was really dark out already, and she had a coat on. So I remember it was winter. And she had to go to the store for something, but she also didn't want to like have to like take us, get all the kids bundled up and take us out.
She's like, she probably was cooking dinner and said, "Oh, I just forgot like I don't know, cilantro or something."
Something, yeah. And it was the store. Yeah, the store was literally like right up the street. Like I think she could have walked there, and she probably did because my dad probably had the car. We only had one car at the time. So I remember she was like, "Listen, I'm trusting you guys," because again, I was 8. But latchkey kids, it's part of growing up. Like born in the 80s, that's how we grew up. Like parents both worked jobs, came home from school, made sure the doors were locked, get your homework and your chores done. Yeah. So it wasn't anything new to like quote unquote be home alone, but at the same time, it's nighttime. So she was like, "Do not open the door for anybody. Nobody. Don't open the door." She's like, "I have a key, so I don't need you to open the door for me. So if somebody shows up, don't open the door for anybody."
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So the way the setup worked was it was like, again, it was an apartment or it was a townhouse, but like you open the front door to the main living room. There's like a little closet, stairs that go up. In the back of the townhouse was a dining room, another bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen. That was all towards the back. So when you open the door, the first thing you immediately see is a living room. So we had the TV in the corner. And then there was like a chair and a sofa angled towards the TV. So she left. She's like, "I'll be back in a few minutes." Okay, cool. So it started off with literally a few minutes later we hear at the door. Me and we were all like, "Oh, that must be Mom. She must have forgotten something." And we're like, "No." She said, "Don't open the door to anybody."
Yeah. To anybody.
She has the key if she wouldn't knock. And he's like, "Well, what if she forgot the key?" I'm like, "Well, let me look at the peephole." So I was still too short, so I had to grab like a chair to like look through the peephole. I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. There's nobody there." Maybe they realized they knocked on the wrong door and walked away. Yeah. Okay. So like, "Oh, okay, that's weird." So
or if you're stumbling on our video and you're too young to know that back in the day we used to do, what was it?
Ding Dong Ditch. Yeah. Ding Dong Ditch. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. And so we're like, whatever. Didn't think anything of it. So I went back to watching TV. And then a few minutes later.
Again.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, this, like, I'm getting inconvenience from watching my TV. Like, who the hell? Yeah. Drag the chair, and like, mind you, the chair's in the kitchen, in the dining room, all the way in the back. Like, and here's my little 8-year-old self, like, trying to drag this chair, like, just so I can see in the peephole. I'm like, nobody there. And it's not like it was blocked. There was just, I could see outside, nobody was there. I'm like, okay, this is really annoying. The first time I was like, maybe Mom's trying to like test us or something. Yeah. And maybe she's like knocking and then like hiding in the bushes, because it was like there was a door, but then like there was like a bush like right there. Yeah. And, like maybe she's like trying to test to see if I'm gonna open the door. Yeah. I'm like, okay. And then, okay, nobody's there. Love the chair back. Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at this point, I think I just left the chair because I was like, I'm not gonna like keep moving this thing back and forth. So I was sitting we didn't have a sofa and a love seat. We had a sofa and like a chair, like a, like a sitting chair. Yeah. I was in the sitting chair. My brother was on the sofa. But I was sitting on the chair kind of like with my back on one arm and my legs over the other arm. And we were talking spooky stuff. I don't remember if it's because we were watching something spooky or we just started talking about it. Yeah. But I remember my brother like looked over at me and he had this like face of like horror. Yeah. And I'm like, what? He's like he was like speechless. And then when I like realized like he was kind of like looking over my shoulder and I'm literally like y'all can't see, but
you're scaring me.
I kid you not. I'm gonna get up so y'all can see. Like so you're me. Yeah. From behind me. Hold on, scooch up a smidge. from behind me, a hand just like
No.
like that. I didn't feel
Like that
it.
family.
I didn't feel it, but I saw it, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a human hand. It was greenish in tone, like long with like
a
long
zombie.
fingernails,
Skinny.
kind of like
Like our logo.
right? Exactly. Like picture like
our
the
logo.
evil witch from Snow White when she's the old decrepit woman,
Yeah.
like her long
Yeah.
spindly fingers,
Yeah.
but it was like a greenish tone.
Ew. No.
Like
disgusting.
and I saw it,
Yeah.
and he saw it.
Yeah.
But there was like nothing that it was attached to, and like
Yeah.
I immediately like spun around and it was gone. And then of course we are both freaking out. We're like, what the fuck was that? But we're just like,
So what did you guys do after
one
that?
of those like, we don't talk about it, it didn't
Yeah.
happen kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
we just went back to watching TV. A little while later, we're like, what the fuck? At this point though, I'm like, okay, the chair's already there. Let me look in the peephole. But it was like blacked out this time. I couldn't see outside. And I'm like, dude. And then, but this time it kept insisting. And I was like, dude. I was like, what do we do? Like, do we hide? Like, because by the living room there was a window, but it was kind of like the blinds were like semi-closed,
Yeah.
but not fully closed. I was like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, clearly the TV's on. Whoever's outside
Yeah.
can hear that the TV's on.
Or can see the light flashing from
And
the
we
TV.
thought we were whispering, but we were probably not whispering. So like they probably hear us,
Yeah.
and like kept knocking on the door. And then, sure enough, this time though, it was my mom testing us.
And
that time.
But you didn't answer the door.
I did not answer the door.
So
but she was the one that was blocking.
I figured that
She's
was
like, I wanted to see if you guys are.
I figured that was coming.
But like, yeah,
That's
no,
so
that
funny.
time it was her. But yeah, that hand, till this day, like he and I, like if we're trading spooky stories like with our friends, like
You always bring that up.
We'll both like kind of touch on it, but it was like one of those experiences where we were both just like
Traumatized.
because we were both so young, 8 and 6, like to see that and we're like unexplainable.
Yeah.
As far as in that apartment, that's the only thing I can remember happening.
Yeah.
We weren't there for very long. We were only there for, I want to say it was less than a year. No, maybe a little more than a year and a half or 2. But I don't remember anything else like that happening. And I don't know if it was just like the fear factor because I was like, Mom left us alone. It's nighttime. It's like cold, wintry out. Like we must have been watching something spooky because we were talking about it.
Yeah, you're like super triggered.
Right. So it's just like, I don't know. The fact, like, if he hadn't seen it, I would have just thought it was my mind playing tricks on me. And one of those like implanted memories where it's like, oh, you probably saw something on the show and like remembered it as your own thing. But the fact that I know he saw it too, and like,
you reacted based on his reaction.
Right. Like
too.
I didn't feel anything. Nothing had happened prior. It was like his face was like. And that's when I like looked to like where he was like kind of looking off to the side of me, and I'm like, and I saw that like hand just kind of like come over my shoulder, and I'm just like, and I didn't feel it on me, but it was grabbing my shoulder. It wasn't just like hovering.
That's so creepy.
It was grabbing my shoulder, and I didn't feel it, but I
so
saw
creepy.
it. I'm just like, yeah. So like I said, short but sweet, just a cute little thing.
A cute little zombie hand.
Cutesy poopsy.
Oh my
But
gosh.
Yeah, that one, like, that haunts me. Because I still, it's one of those things where it's like, what was it?
Yeah.
You
That
know
would have
what I
been
mean?
my first thought, like, what was it?
Yeah, and we're just like, I don't know, because it's like, and if it's like anything else, you can kind of blame it on, like, oh, it's a past spirit, or, you know, an entity of some kind, you know, something like that, but like, it's a green, long, gangly, like, huge, like, talon-sized nails. Like, it looks demonic.
Yeah.
In its appearance. I'm just like...
But the green kind of throws me off. I'm like,
Exactly.
are we allowed to tell alien stories?
Right.
Here?
It wasn't like a bright green. It was just like, picture, like, human skin, but having like, a green hue to it. Like, a decayed one, maybe.
It's not like a zombie skin.
Kind of, yeah, but a little greener. But
wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good times.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How's your rum, by the way? Did you like it?
Stronger than I was expecting.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we should trade for a little bit because I really want you to try this.
Okay.
I kind of have a long one too.
Okay.
So, this is a story that my uncle told me, so I don't know how exaggerated this is or how true it is, but anyway, I'm just gonna tell the story. My uncle is the one that always had us try to get into like horseback riding, right? Mm-hmm. And I know last episode I talked about the ranch.
Yeah.
Well, at this ranch at the time, this was like outside of where we're from. And at the time, you had all these older, dilapidated houses.
Yeah.
And my uncle was telling us the story, and on the weekends when we would go horse riding, we would go like cross country horse riding. Like we would go through rivers,
right.
We'd go up the mountain, down the mountain. Like
it's not like let's trot on this little trail.
No, it was like some crazy stuff, like where you really had to trust your horse sometimes because you're like, this is where I die. No, you're okay.
I'm the next ghost in Nani's story.
Yeah, basically.
I'll haunt your ass.
So. You know what's really interesting about this, by the way? It has like a Rome agricole vibe.
Yes, it does. And it's so like, in its color, it's very light.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Well, 3 to 4 years, it makes sense that it's that light, but...
1 to 4.
Oh, 1 to 4, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see the
sediment. Anyway, he was telling us that there used to be this huge house, this huge ranch built on this house. Well, this huge house built on this ranch. Other way around.
Yeah.
That they don't know what happened to the owners, but the rumor was that the owner had lost his daughter or something like that, like in a tragic situation.
There's always a tragedy.
And the rumor in the town was that they just, once she died, because she passed away in this, where they used to live, they abandoned it. So my uncle and his friends used to go, and their house was so big and so tall that the doors were broken, but they had these huge like double door entries.
Yeah.
And they would go in there with the horses.
Oh, that's so cool.
So he said that they had gone there a couple of times and that he had felt like kind of not good energy in there. But the story that he told me was like, oh, if we ever go by this house, we're not going in there. And it was kind of like, be warned, we're not going in there if we ever end up making it out there.
Risk.
Yeah. So he said that basically his friend went in first.
Okay.
And immediately as soon as they got in, there was like a gust of wind, and there was like kind of like a tornado inside the house,
like a vortex.
Yeah. So they go in there, the horses kind of like get spooked, they start backing up.
I was gonna say, I'm surprised that the horses weren't reacting to the house.
So that's what he was telling us. So he's like, we went in there with the horses. There was this huge gust of wind. There was this like a tornado thing. All these leaves came in. We started getting surrounded by this tornado thing. It stopped. And then he's like, and the weirdest thing is like, the horses were backing up. And as we were backing up, I'm obviously turning my head. And as I'm turning my head, like once the gust of wind comes down, after the gust of wind comes down, he said that when you would come in, there was this beautiful like foyer with a chimney.
Yeah.
But there was this ginormous chandelier.
Okay.
Well, as the tornado comes down, the horse starts backing up. They lift their heads to see where the horse is because they had to see.
Right.
Making sure they're not backing in.
Yeah.
He said, as my head turns up to back.
Yeah.
The chandelier starts swinging and swinging and swinging so hard.
Yeah.
And mind you, this property's like been abandoned for, I think he said like, when you go in there, you can see the beauty of it, but it's been abandoned for like 10 plus years.
Yeah, you can tell that nobody's lived there.
Well, the freaking chandelier broke off, fell in the middle of them.
Oh shit.
The horses got spooked.
Of course.
My uncle's horse got up.
Yeah.
He fell off the horse.
Yeah.
And then he said that it seemed So the chandelier falls. His friends dip.
They're like, peace out, every man
he
for
falls
himself.
off his horse, and he said that as soon as he stood up, it seemed like the chimney or the fireplace started almost turning on. And then he said he saw like flames on the bottom, and that it started smelling like sulfur.
Ooh, sulfur is not good.
I know.
Y'all, if y'all don't know,
the
smelling of sulfur usually, like goosebumps, usually indicates something demonic, like a demonic type of entity. If you smell sulfur and there's no sulfur in the room, run. That's a big sign, run.
Yeah. And then he said that he ran out of the room and that the double doors they came in through, closed.
Oh, fuck no.
And then he's like, never again. Never, never, never again. And then his friends were like super spooked. The funny story about this is that when I told my parents that he had told me the story, they were like kind of dismissing my uncle's story because they were like, oh, those idiots were drinking all day and then they went horseback riding. They're just trying to make an excuse because how he fell off the horse. But when my uncle was telling me the story, he looked like
spooked,
panicked. Like he had lived it, he had experienced it. It's
like
so
whatever happened,
he
believed he was going through it. Whether it's a drunken illusion, hallucination, whatever. Like whatever he saw, experienced, he experienced it. Like that was the truth of his experience.
It's freaking crazy.
And that was how long ago? Like how old was he? I should say. Do you remember?
He was probably like 22, 23 at the time. I think I was like 14 or 15 when he told us this story because it was when I went back to Ecuador the last time for like to finish up high school.
Yeah.
So that's when he told us the story because that's when he's like, he was really pushing for me to ride, for me to compete, for me to do everything. So he's like, we're going to start going cross country. We're going to start like doing all these things. You're going to start, like he built a whole area so we could start practicing our jumping
like
in the ranch.
Yeah.
So he's really serious about it, but he was like, when we go cross country and, you know, one of these days we're going to pack stuff, we're going to do a picnic up in the mountains, but when you see this house, don't ask me to go there. I'm going to tell you a story and we're not going to go there. It was kind of like a warning. It was really cute.
Yeah. I always have such a sense of like sadness when I see or hear about these homes that were literally just up and left.
Yeah.
Usually it's because of some tragedy.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could be something as simple as like the family, you know, lost all their fortune or whatever, their wealth, and were forced to vacate. Whatever the situation is, but I always feel so, because I feel like a house, not that the house, like the wood and stuff like that, is a living thing, but it is it's a sentient thing because it's filled with the memories of the living things that happened there.
Yeah.
So it's like I always feel so sad because I'm like it's almost like I'm an empath, so it's like I feel the sadness of the house where it's like I was just left here.
Yeah, I was abandoned.
And I was like I feel it for the house. So like when I hear stories
sad.
like that, I'm like, can I go love it?
Yeah.
Can I go take care of it? Like so many houses you see, I mean, unless it was just like somebody got murdered 30 times in here, like okay, condemn the house, knock it down, rebuild, whatever you gotta do, because clearly that shit's no bueno, whatever energy's there.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But it makes me so sad.
What did you think of the rum?
It's good. It's very smooth. This was definitely stronger than, like, I think because, like you said, it has more of an agricole kind of thing, and I'm not a huge agricole fan.
Yeah.
So I definitely like this one. It's like smooth caramel.
And can I say something that might be a little bit controversial about this one? Mm-hmm. I'm getting like a chemically finish on this
like
one.
I said, like you can see all the sediment in there. Like you can see it.
No, the sediment is fine. That just means it's not filtered when it comes out from the necessarily filtered.
I think there's a lot of stuff in there.
But the sediment is not necessarily bad. Sometimes it just brings extra flavorings. I don't mind if it's
flavorings.
But watch. Go back to this. Sorry, we're switching around. So yeah, that was an interesting.
Even just
story.
the smell of it.
It's very floral and like
maybe it's because
herbal.
I'm having allergies to the dogs. It's just like, to me, the smell, like, it burns the back of my nose.
Oh really? Oh shoot!
Like the nasal cavity into like the back of the throat, it like burns.
Yeah, see this? Oh my god, guys! It smells like creme brulee.
That's why I said it smells like
toffee.
silky caramel.
It's so freaking good. So on this, by the way, here it says, this rum has a balanced palate of ripe raisins, dark chocolate, and a hint of toffee. A remarkable sipping rum experience to be treasured. If you ever see this rum on the shelves, and by the way, these Forgotten Cask, whatever bottles they found at St. Lucia Distillery or a Chairman's Reserve, once these bottles are gone, they're gone. That's it. Like, literally, it's Forgotten Cask because they found these casks at the distillery when, I think...
And said, let's bottle these up and...
Yeah. So, I've actually seen it a couple of times, but because I still have so much of it, I kind of feel bad getting another bottle instead of letting somebody else enjoy. So, you're welcome. If you see it here in Florida, it's because I'm a nice person and I like sharing rum. I don't want you guys to miss out on this.
Only here in Florida, specifically.
Yeah.
It's all on her.
You're welcome. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's a very... Like, if I'm, like, over here, I get more of the, like, herbally... Not even floral, but... I guess a little floral, but on the sweet side. But if I'm like...
What's the proof of this?
Well, it's 47.2%, so double that. So...
Yeah.
94.4.
Yeah, and this is 40.
Yeah.
By the way, if you have not dipped your toes into rum, highly recommend Chairman's Reserve as well for that, as it's an incredible... Everything I've tried from them, I consider them a entry-level rum company. Like, you can try stuff, which is amazing.
You saw that, right?
No, I didn't. What?
You didn't hear it or see it?
I heard it, but I didn't.
Literally, you know the block ice from my glass?
Oh, but that's because it's melting.
No. I saw it. It literally, like, churned in the glass.
Cheers, Ghost. Yeah, it's because it's melting. It's schmelting.
Whatever she wants to say.
Cheers. Well, this was a short and sweet one, but thanks for tuning in. If you do have your own stories, don't forget to email us at
stories@gmail.
Oh, paranormalpourstories@gmail.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail and we'll call you back, or we can also feature your voicemail.
Yeah, or if you'd like to tell your story with us on here.
Oh my god, please, we would love to have viewers come on here. We can send you the samples of the stuff for free. We'll share whatever spirits we're sipping on, and you can tell us your spooky story.
Yes, or maybe even have them live here with us.
Yeah.
Whatever
if
you guys
you live
want to
local.
do. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Well, cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Even on my lips, like, it burns.
Yeah.
But my lips, it could be because I've been in the sun all day.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
My lips are a little sensitive.
Wow, that looks...